your business environment. Thirdly, it's about system management. A good system allows you to have a better monitoring for all your backup tasks, provide you a complete visibility of your data. This is to ensure that all the process function correctly, but also help minimize human error, avoid configuration vulnerable to ransomware. Lastly, it's about system security, which is the foundation of your system. Enterprise should implement robust network security and access control to safeguard your backup data from any potential breach or misuse. So to solve this challenge, right, Synology has the best golden sample for cyber resiliency data protection strategies. These structures ensure business can safeguard their critical data effectively, also serve as a last line of defense for the company security. I know it's confusing, but don't worry, we're gonna go through it one by one. Okay, so in our golden framework, right, we're gonna consider 4 different aspects. On top, we got like the before and after the incidents happen. And on the vertical will be the data and the system infra. Okay, so starting from the source data, when we perform backup, we're gonna have all kind of backup technology available, try to minimize consuming IT resources, and try to finish all your backup as soon as possible. And after your backup is complete, right, we also got the backup integrity, backup verification features available to make sure that your backup is available. And if you still got any doubt with your backup, right, we can even perform data recovery drill without affecting your production site. Let's say if there are any incidents happens, right, we also got all kind of recovery method available for you to perform data recovery. So after you got all your source data backup into the Synology system, right, we also need to make sure that all your backup will not be affected by the cyber attacks. Therefore, we got like the remote backup, immutable features, or even air gap features available to further protect your data against ransomware attacks or any unexpected disaster happens. For example, like natural disaster. And in some company, right, they also got multiple site or multiple backup server running at the same times. And to have a better management for all the entire company backup solution, right, we also got a centralized backup management features available, providing you a complete visibility for all your backup tasks. So you can actually maintain your backup tasks easier at the same time, like we mentioned just now, minimize human error as well as your IT workload. Lastly, to further avoid any potential backup data being leaked, we also got system security features available to protect your business data. So you can ensure only the right person can access your backup data. So this is where Synology newly launched Active Protect appliances comes in. If you're comparing with other backup vendors, Synology Active Protect appliances come with storage, operating systems, as well as all the backup software. And you can even expand your backup deployment without ease. So let's start with data recoverability first. So business data, right, usually they will scatter across different environments or even different platforms, which pose a big challenge for the backup management. For example, let's say if you got Windows PC, Mac PC, right, and you may need a different backup software to backup, right? So it means that you not only need to manage all your backup tasks, but you also need to manage different backup software. But with Synology solutions, since it comes with the hardware and software, right? So you don't need to worry about their compatibility. And you can even backup your entire business environment within one single interface. You can backup all different endpoints such as like the M365, virtual machines, physical server, PC device including like your Windows and Mac, file servers, and even database. And now you no longer need to manage all your backup tasks from different backup software. And to further speed up and fully utilize your entire environment, right, we also got a new technology called source site deduplication. So before we do a data transferring to your backup appliances, we will run a full data scanning first to find out if there are any identical data block. Then, only transfer all the new data block to your appliances. You can see with this method, right, we can largely reduce the usage for your network bandwidth. Yeah, let me show you an example. So like in this case, right, we're going to use the first backup for both device A and device B. Yeah, and each device going to have around 30 gigabytes of data. Yeah, so with our source side deduplication, right, after the first full backup for device A is complete, you can see on the device B, right, after dedupe, they only cost us about 443 megabytes of data instead of another 30 gigabytes, which can largely reduce your bandwidth workload. So with the help of our backup technology, we can actually help save more than 50% of storage capacity instead of backing up the entire identical data, improving your storage efficiency. So since we already finished your backup, right, we also got some features available to make sure that your backup is complete and valid. Yeah, first, we got the self-healing features, which will automatically repair your backup tasks if we find out if their new backup is not valid. Yeah, then we also got the backup verification available. So whenever you finish your backup, right, yeah, we're gonna take your backup and do the restoration drill and make a record on it to prove that your backup is valid. So let's say if you still got any concern with your backup, right? Yeah, we also got the sandbox environment available for you to perform restoration drill without affect your production environment. So usually enterprise, they really like these features, yeah, because some company, they got auditing policy which they need to perform restoration drill every month. So finish with the backup, right? So when a disaster strike, we also provide you a very flexible restoration method. Yeah, first you can either perform a file level restoration, which just restores specific folder or files without affect your production environments. Or we can also perform a full data restoration for your entire device. And we also support instant restoration to your virtual machine. So you can either like perform a physical to virtual restorations or virtual to virtual restorations. So since you already back up all the important data into your backup appliances, next we're going to talk about data durability when disaster strikes and how we protect your data from the ransomware attack. First, to fulfill the backup golden rules 3-to-1 backup strategies, yeah, Synology also support a remote backup. Just in case any disaster happen on your production site, such as like the flood or fire outbreak, you still can recover your data from a remote location. Yeah, with Synology, we support a remote backup to either another Active Protect appliances, high scalable NAS, as well as the Amazon S3. And to further protect your remote backup, right, when transferring your backup data from the production backup server to remote backup server, all the backup data are actually encrypted to prevent any unauthorized access. At the same time, the backup copy will also be stored in the worm storage. So in the worm storage, you can actually set a protection period which all your remote backup, right, they cannot be modified during the protection period. And what's more is, Synology also observed that many commercial backup solutions, right, they actually depends on third-party storage device to enforce data immutability, which can lead to discrepancy between the software and the hardware lock-in period settings. Now, our Active Protect, they got a native immutable features available for your backups. Yeah, so you can simply create a different immutable period for different backup tasks, fulfilling your compliances issue. The above technology ensure data recoverability and durability against the ransomware. But an effective management is the key to getting the most out of the Active Protect appliances. Yeah, the variety of platforms used in IT environment, right, usually leads to fragmented backup management. And it's very difficult for the IT manager to monitor the status of their backup configurations and ensure data visibility, which undermines the data protection efforts. So, Active Protect appliances, right, they are designed to effectively reduce the burden on IT manager by simplifying operations, monitoring, as well as the management. So basically, many enterprises, right, they require a large-scale deployment of multi-site backup. Even some of the sites, right, they even deploy with multiple servers just to ensure stable backup performance. However, it has become a big challenge to manage all the backup tasks from different backup servers separately. So to manage and centralize all your backup resource, we got a features called central management system, which is actually a cluster-based architecture. So you can actually cluster up all your backup server into one single system. So one of your appliances, right, they're gonna serve as a central management server, centrally manage all your backup server. In addition, our Active Protect appliances, right, also provide a seamless integration with Synology highly claimed Active Backup for Business, which also can be centrally managed. And in the cluster, right, the host appliances can support up to 2,500 of backup site or 150,000 devices, ensuring organization can expand their business growth without additional complexity. This means that you can deliver an enterprise-grade backup solution without excessive management overhead. So since you already cluster up all your backup server, right, you will be managing a lot of backup tasks. And to be honest, it will be very difficult to manage all your backup tasks one by one. But with our Active Protect appliances, we got something called protection plan. So inside the protection plan, you can actually set up like your backup frequency, retention policy, immutable backups. So you can, once you already set up, right, you can apply across all your backup tasks. Just in case you want to change your backup policy, right, just go to your protection plan and edit it. And it will automatically apply across all your backup tasks. With this method, right, you can have a better management for all your backup tasks, but also decrease your IT workload. As your business grows, right, our Active Protect can also automatically extend its protection coverage to newly added backup resource. So once a protection policy is in place, new device or accounts are automatically included in the protection framework. So to give you a better picture, let me show you how our solution looks like. First, navigate to the protection plan section through the left panel. Here you can define the protection rules for the workloads that you want to protect. These rules can later be applied to multiple or cross-platform workloads, automatically protecting them based on the defined rules. Enter the protection plan page and click Create Plan in the upper right corner. So for these demonstrations, we will use a protection plan for physical devices and virtual machines as an example. First, you can choose the plan type and decide whether to apply immutable rules. Then, click Next to enter the name for the protection plan. After entering the name, you can configure the backup settings, including the retention periods, backup schedules, and more. Next, configure the advanced settings for the respective platform, such as enabling the backup verifications to make sure data integrity automatically. Finally, the protection plan integrates with the backup copy settings, allowing users to enable these features directly and choose a destination for off-site backups. Click Next to complete the setups. So after setting up the protection plan, if the target to be backup is a virtual machine, switch to the virtual machine tab in the left panel. Using the auto backup features, the system can automatically detect both existing and newly added virtual machines in your environment. First, click on the auto backup settings and click Add. Select the backup server and the target VM folder. Then apply the protection plan. Once the setup is complete, any virtual machines, whether already existing or newly added to the selected folder, will be automatically be protected according to the applied protection plan. This ensures there's no data silos. To verify the backup immutability, let's take the virtual machines PM demo as an example. We can see that this VM has already been applied with immutable protection plan and has been copied to an offsite destination. If we attempt to delete the corresponding workload, you will notice that the user, right, is unable to delete the files from the APM. Next, let's switch to the off-site Active Protect vault, where the backup data are stored. Select the corresponding files and attempt to delete it. From the screen, you will see a notification indicating that the data is undeletable. This demonstrates that data backup on Active Protect appliances with an immutable plan, whether it's a backup or backup copy, will maintain an immutable state throughout the entire data flow. In the event of an unexpected incident, we can help the user instantly restore their data to minimize server downtime. Select the virtual machine you want to restore, then click Restore to Virtual Machines in the upper right corner. You can choose the latest version or a specific version based on desired point in time. After selecting, click Next to choose the target platform and the restore mode. Since we're assuming that this is the recovery drill, we can choose to restore to a new location to avoid affecting the original setup. Once selected, proceed to choose the restoration destinations, which can be either hypervisor from an existing infrastructure or a new hypervisor. Click Next, then select the folder and resource pool. Finally, click Finish to start the restore process. The user can monitor the details of the restore progress and, once complete, can migrate the instant restore VM back to the production environment. This ensures full disaster recovery and guarantee business continuity. So, finished with the backup management, let's move to our cornerstone, security. As backup have always been considered the last line of defense, right? We also need to prevent any potential backup data being leaked or if there are any security risk. We really care about data privacy. Therefore, Synology places a great importance on security of the backup architecture. Firstly, let us focus on the security of identity authentications. So in terms of access control, Synology support not only basic like the username and password authentication, but also integrates seamlessly with Active Directory, LDAP, and SSO, the single sign-on, promising a more streamlined and secure authentication experience. Aside from the multi-factor authentication enhanced like the login security, the super admin account is also further secure with two-factor authentication, providing a robust protections for this key account. Furthermore, our APM, our Active Protect Manager, can further assign different permission access for like different IT manager. For example, you can actually set up a read-only permission for the auditor without having the permission to change the system configurations or access the backup files. This principle of least privilege is to ensure only the right people can access the right data. Other than the access control, right? We can further enhance your device security by restricting device access through firewall settings. So by using our IP whitelist, right, only the device on the specific list are allowed to connect. This means that only the designated IP address can reach your backup server, prevent any potential cyber threat from gaining access. And lastly, we also got the air gap features available, which can physically isolate your off-site backup server. So actually for the air gap features, right, we got 3 types of air gap isolation available, so which you can either deny all the network connections, deactivate your network card, or even shut down your entire server during the designated period. This method is to minimize your remote backup server being exposed, adding additional layer of protections to your backup data. So the multi-layer data protection architecture for enterprises is secure from inside out. So it comes with 3 tiers. First is ensure the security of identity authentications. Secondly, the enterprise can actually create an IP whitelist which allows only device on the specific list to connect. Third, physical isolations for offsite backups, enhancing protections against any potential threats. In summary, our system security provides you a multi-layer of data protection architecture to ensure all enterprise backup are secure and resilient. Additionally, Synology remains committed to product security by offering comprehensive security measures to minimize cyber risk, making it an ideal solution that meets the golden backup architecture for enterprise data protections. However, it is important to remind everyone that when you evaluate cyber recovery solutions, enterprise must consider not only the completeness of the features, but also the ease of use. According to the Synology Enterprise Management Survey in Taiwan, which we actually gather the insight from nearly 1,200 IT professionals, almost 50% of enterprises are unable to fully implement a cyber resiliency solutions due to insufficient IT resource. And although even many brands, the leading brands in the industry, right, claim to deliver essential cyber recovery functions such as the immutability and the air gap capability, yet upon close examinations, you will find that there are several factors you need to consider, especially when you're choosing the backup solutions from our competitors. First of all, they will use a complex pricing structures that charge, like for example, like the operating system, the hardwares, and the software license. And it's getting more expensive as the instance add up. Our Synology, right, we offer a relatively simple licensing model, charging only when 4 or more servers are used. And another challenge is that it's very difficult to predict the performance and assessment for both server and storage server. At the same time, you also need to coordinate with multiple vendors. Synology, however, assessment performance directly just based on the source data you want to back up. And our competitor also highly depend on the complexity of the integrations. For example, like the immutable backup features, right, require specific storage pairing. And features like the global source deduplication, right, often require a costly server integration. However, with Synology, right, we got a built-in immutability and a global source deduplication technology. Our data protection will become a breeze. And what's more, with other solutions, right, they need a big learning curve to configure, maintain, and to ensure everything runs smoothly. But Synology will provide you a single management platform, the Active Protect Manager, to streamline the entire process. So we have already learned how Synology Active Protect appliances work. Now it's the time to talk about configurations and maintenance. With Synology, business can eliminate unnecessary complexities and overhead, starting from the procurement, deployment until your maintenance. Everything is optimized, significantly reduce your overall cost. The streamlined management of our Active Protect Manager ensure a hassle-free experience, allow the IT teams to just focus on critical tasks rather than dealing with the fragmented system. So starting from the procurement, we simplify the procurement with just 3 models. The DP320, DP340 will be the desktop models, and the rack mount models will be the DP7400. So you can actually choose the corresponding models based on how much backup data and the source data you want to backup. So in terms of the system setup, we actually also simplify the entire process. So when you purchase our Active Protect appliances, just start up the device and follow the installation wizard. So during the installation process, right, everything is preset into the best condition. So you don't need to set up any other configurations such as like the reconfigurations, volume creation, or even the share folder creation, minimizing human error. You can simply finish all your backup setup, the server setup, right, and start your backup within 10 minutes. Additionally, we also offer an auto repair mechanism that utilizes hot spare drive. So when a defective hard drive is detected, the spare drive will replace the faulty drive immediately. So let's say if your chassis fail, you can also directly migrate the hard drive to a compatible model, quickly restore your backup operation status. So I believe you guys got a clear picture on building a comprehensive data protection strategies for a company and how Synology Active Protect appliances help navigate the ever-changing data protection landscape. So a quick summary for today's sessions. Our Active Protect provide you a very flexible data recoverability, which we can back up like your PC device, physical server, virtual machines, as well as your database. Then in case you need data recovery, you can also perform either like file level restorations, bare metal restoration, as well as the cross-platform restoration. Yeah, in terms of data durability, we got all kinds of data technology such as like immutability or the AGAP features to further protect your data from the ransomware attacks. Yeah, to have a better management for your backup server, we got a central management panel available, so you can centrally monitor all your backup server as well as your backup tasks. Lastly, we got a robust network security and access control as a final layer of your defense for your backup data. So that's all for the sharing today. So if you guys got any questions, feel free to drop the question in the chat box. 5 minutes later, we will be entering the Q&A sessions. Don't forget we also got the survey available. Feel free to fill out the survey form and you will stand a chance to win a 2-bay Synology Nest DS224 Plus. And we will be back in 5 minutes.
인물 고생은
So hi everyone, yeah, welcome back. Yeah, thanks. Welcome back. So now we will be entering the Q&A sessions. Okay, because I see quite a lot of people asking the questions, so I gotta summarize some of the frequent asked questions. First is about so I see it's a very good questions. So some people ask like, is the active protect appliances apply on our Synology Nest? So for information, it's a totally whole new products. So it comes with a different SKU. So we currently got 3 SKU available, 3 models available: the DP320, DP340, and the DP7400. So all the devices when you buy our device, it also include with the hard drive, operating system, and all the backup software, everything included. So how you choose your models? Actually, we got a suggested backup source. So for example, if your company environment, right, you need to backup 5 terabyte of data, you can actually choose the DP320. Yeah, we got all the recommended backup source. So you can actually select the models based on your business environment. Okay, so second thing is about the licensing part. Yeah, I see a lot of people asking. So for the licensing part, we charge actually totally different compared with other competitor, because other competitor, right, they will charge you based on how much your usage, like for example, how many backup tasks you're performing, and then how many CPU core you backup. Yeah, they will charge you based on that. So it means that there is a lot of hidden costs. But with our Synology, the active protect appliances, right, we only charge you based on how many backup server you connect to your active protect appliances cluster. Yeah, just like I mentioned, right, you can do the centralized management. So it depends on how many backup server you added into the cluster. Yeah, for information, for the first 3 cluster, right, will be totally license free. Yeah, unless you add additional backup server, like for example, the 4th server or 5th server from any of your remote site, only require additional license. And the license will be annually basis. Yeah. And then don't worry, we also won't charge you based on, like for example, you already connect your server, right? And you got 200 backup tasks running in the server. We won't charge you based on that. We just charge based on how many backup server you add into the cluster. So in the long run, right, you can actually see the overall cost, right, are very competitive. I mean, Synology is very competitive compared with the competitor one. Yeah, and we don't have any hidden costs. Okay, so let's see any other questions. Okay, I see got one people asking about how to maintain an offsite backup. Yeah, I think it's a very good question. Why? Because many people, they know how to host the backup server, but they don't know how to maintain or manage their backup server. So actually for the offline backup, right, to be honest, it's a last line of defense in your company. So how to use it? Here's my recommendation. First, try not to use in the offsite backup, right? You can please enable the immutable features inside. Yeah, because for immutable, right, when the ransomware happen on your business environment, right, they won't be able to attack your backups. Yeah, for information, because for the quick sharing how the hacker attack your environment. So usually when the ransomware attack happen in your company, right, the first thing they won't do is attack your system directly. They will use your super admin account, look around all your business environment, and the first thing they are looking for is your backup server, because they don't want you to do data restoration when they attack your data, right? So when they found your backup server, right, they will sabotage your entire backup server. For example, like delete your backup tasks, delete all your backups, or even perform factory reset for your backup server. So if you got the immutable backup inside, right, sorry, even though the super admin, even Synology ourselves, we cannot delete the backup. So this is how we protect the data from the ransomware attack. Yeah, so for the offsite backup, right, here's my recommendation. First thing you must do is you must perform immutable backup over there. Okay. The second thing is you can utilize the air gap features. Yeah, so air gap features, we got 3 types of air gap. We got the deny all the connections. The second way is we can turn off the entire network connections or physically turn off your server. Yeah, so during the period like you already finished your backup task, right? Means that your backup service already idle. You can turn off your backup server. Try to minimize the contact with the outside world. Yeah, so this is how we actually perform the protection for your offsite backup. Okay. Let's see if we got any other questions. Okay, so next question is, do our backup support the Proxmox or SANG4 virtual environment? Yeah, unfortunately, currently we still don't support the agentless backup for the Proxmox and SANG4. But don't worry, there's a workaround. So you can actually perform agent-based backup that your virtual machine which hosts on the Proxmox or the SANG4. For example, your virtual machine from the SANG4, right? You just install the agent inside, then you can back up the whole VM into your active protect appliances. Okay. Let's see if we got any. Yeah. Okay. Another thing is I see many countries asking about if there are any service center in their country. Yeah. So currently we don't have the local office. For example, like India, Singapore, Philippines, Malaysia. Currently we still don't have any of the local office. But don't worry, if you need any local services, right? You can contact your supplier. Or if your supplier didn't have the local service, right? Don't worry, you just contact us. You can go to our official store, scroll down the page, there's inquiries to send us. Then we will redirect you to the partner that have the local service. Or we will contact you with our local distributor. Okay. Okay, next question is how to make sure that the right ones read many, right? Protect the data from being deleted or being modified. So actually what is write once read many means that your data, whenever it's written, right, into the form, they no longer got the write permission, means that the data will be fixed over there. So with this method, right, so once we do this one, right, we also need to set what we call as a protection period. So during a protection period, like just now we mentioned, not even super admin, Synology, anyone can edit the files until the protection period is over. Yeah. So this is how actually we protect your data from being attacked from the ransomware or being modified by someone else. Okay. Next question is how many limited years of warranty for our active protect appliances? Yeah, just now we mentioned we got 3 SKU available, right? We got DP320, we got the DP340 and the DP7400. Yeah, for the desktop model, DP320 and 340 will be 3 years, right? Yeah, we'll be having 3 years warranty. And for the DP7400 will be 5 years warranty. Okay. Let's see, any common questions? Like frequent asked questions. Oh, I see someone asking about which third-party application we should use for the ransomware protections. Actually, our active protect appliances, right? As we just mentioned, when you buy our device, it comes with hardware, software, and the operating system. So you don't need any third-party backup software to do the backup. To protect from the ransomware. Actually, we got immutable features can able to protect or the air gap to protect your data from the ransomware. Okay. Next thing is, yeah, I see someone is asking about where to get the spare parts in the country, right? Yeah, this one you can contact your local supplier, or you can contact us. Then we will redirect you to the people who can supply you the spare parts. Okay. Oh yeah, for information. We got another question. Is do our active protect appliances support the incremental backup? Yes, we support incremental backup. So in terms of data, the data protection technology, right? Basically, we got 3 types. First is all our backup will be incremental backup, means that we only backup the new data that you created. Means that we don't store any like identical data or the same data block. or because this, right, they will waste a lot of storage capacity and also your bandwidth environments. Okay, so talking about the backup technology, we got the incremental backup. Yeah, we got the source side deduplications to protect your data. I mean, to minimize the workload in your environments. Okay. Okay. Yeah, sorry, due to time limitation, answer two more questions. Let me see. Oh, for your formations? Yeah, so just now, I think someone did ask about active backup for business. Okay, so if you already got because just now I mentioned about the clustering features, right? So the clustering features, we not only can manage all the backup tasks from the active protect appliances, we also can manage all the backup tasks. You also can add your normal NAS with the active backup for business into your cluster for central management. Okay. Yeah, but this one we also consider as a one backup server. So if you beyond than 3 servers, will require additional license. Okay. Let me check. So I think someone also asked about our product compare with the V brand or the A brand. Yeah, after this session, right, we not only share you the slide, we also will share you the battle card with our competitors. Okay, for your reference. Okay. Oh, okay. One last thing I would like to share with you guys is the active protect appliances, right? They are running a totally different operating system. We call it as an active protect manager APM. So it's a totally different products as well as a totally different operating system compared with our NAS. Yeah, normally our NAS will be running the DSM, this station manager, but for our active protect manager, we'll be running the active protect manager. So it's a two different products. Okay, so I think that's all the sharing for today due to time limitation. But don't worry, if you guys got any questions, right? Feel free to contact us. You can send us an inquiry. Then our sales rep will contact with you. We'll get back to you. Okay, that's all for today's sessions. Thank you for joining today's webinar. I'm Jason. Thank you.
ಛತ್ರಿ ನನ್ನ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಛತ್ರಿ ಜನ ಅಂತ